For professional, knowledgeable real estate service you can count on, call the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team. For solid real estate information and advice you can trust, listen to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Compliments to the show. You're really hitting on the subjects and you're telling the truth. I appreciate you.
Now back to the show with broker owner and host, Dan Gemus.
During the break, I'm in here with Heather Marentat today, a sales rep with the Dan Gemus team, and we're just chatting about movies. And you guys are going to see a movie today. I'm so excited.
Yes. We've been promising our daughter all summer to take her to see the Despicable Me 4 movie.
Oh.
And just waiting for the right time, but suddenly it's 1 week left for summer, and I thought, oh geez, we have to get this in. So we're going to go this afternoon.
I've heard good things about it.
We love all of that franchise in our house.
gosh.
Minions are a huge hit. Anything Despicable Me.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Hey, listen, if you're listening right now and you've seen the movie, let us know what you thought. Text us 519-792-2559. 519-792-2559. Text us. Let us know what you thought of the newest Despicable Me. I think those are, again, some of our favorites with the kids, too.
Yes, they're so funny. Oh. And, it's probably not going to be in theaters for long. So
it's true.
Right, it started at the beginning of summer, and now I'm like, we got to do it before.
I find movies don't stay in theaters very long anymore.
Yeah, not as long as they used to. Yeah.
But awesome. So let us know if you've seen it. Text us. Let us know you've seen it and what you thought. Okay, so listen, city life versus suburban bliss. I, for one, have had the opportunity to live both in the city and in the county.
Okay.
We grew up in LaSalle.
Yep.
And then I moved out into the city for a few years, and then we've since been back in LaSalle and now Amherstburg. So I've been kind of, spent most of my time in the county for the most part.
Right.
Now we're actually on a larger piece of land. So we're not so much in a neighborhood like we were in the other parts of our county living.
Yes.
But you you spent some time in the city as well, but you've been mostly county.
Yeah, I grew up mostly. I mean, I guess we grew up in a more urban area of Tecumseh for a few years, but mostly out in the county, like in the Lakeshore area growing up. And then now my husband and I, we live in Lakeshore in a larger area, like larger property.
Yes.
But when I was in school, in college, I lived in London for a couple of years in the city. But that's a different experience when you're a student living in a city, going to school versus, in your own house.
Actually living, yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
So let's go through some pros and cons of both city life versus suburban bliss. Let's see if we agree with some of these. So some pros of city life. Well, convenience. So close proximity to work, shops, restaurants, and entertainment options for sure, 100%. Mm-hmm. Public transportation is obviously another pro of city life.
Accessibility.
100%, yep. Cultural attractions, so museum, theaters, concerts, etc. The vibrant social scene, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, I think of, city life in pros, I think of, going to downtown Toronto, right? Which we like to do every couple of years for like a weekend or whatnot. And when I'm there, we love it.
Yeah, there's always something happening.
100%.
Right?
To me, if you can get around without having to drive, because I hate driving in Toronto.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
If you don't have to.
Exactly. But if you are in the core and you park your car for a couple of days, while you're doing your sightseeing or whatever in Toronto, and just getting around with, your legs and or bikes or whatever.
The subway, buses,
exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not sure if I'd love it so much raising a family. But, if I was a bachelor again or just, without kids, it would probably be really, really cool to have everything so close by.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But some more pros of city life, diverse dining options, job opportunities. So high concentration of job opportunities in the city. Sure. Walkability. Again, I love,
that's a huge plus.
Walkable living area. Events and festivals, educational opportunities, access to services. So some cons of living in the city, Heather. High cost of living. So oftentimes, sure.
Yep.
Noise pollution. Yep.
Light pollution.
Light pollution, another one for sure. Limited space. So again, smaller spaces. If you're in a condo or in a building of some sort, you might not have as much storage as you would in a home.
No, definitely.
Crowdedness. So again, there's not as much room to breathe. Traffic congestion. Ugh, my least favorite part.
Oh, that would be the one that I think that would bother me on the daily.
Man. Safety concerns. So higher crime rates in some urban areas require more vigilance and security measures.
Yep.
All right. Parking issues. So scarcity obviously is not as much, as much space. So in the city, so you're having to work for parking a bit more than you would otherwise. Lack of privacy and stressful pace. Now, let's move on to suburban lifestyle a little bit. So some pros. again, on the other side of the stick, more space, quiet environment. Oh,
Yes.
I appreciate that after having lived in the city and being in the county. More of a community feel. Okay. That's fair, I guess, depending on...
I guess it would depend on if you're like really rural and you
Yes.
don't really have people around, but if you're closer to a small town, you can get that feel.
Safety, lower crime rates, and safer neighborhoods, often appealing to families with children. The article says better schools. I'm not sure if that's the case. If there's really better schools in the county, I can't say that's
I agree. I don't
There's
think
lots
that
of great schools in Windsor.
Absolutely. I don't necessarily agree with that either.
Nature. So again, more proximity to various hiking trails and nature, providing more opportunities for outdoor recreation. Unless you're, New York.
Yeah.
in a Central Park or
there you
whatever.
go.
Have you been in New York?
I have not.
Oh, we went.
It's on the list.
Nick and I went for our anniversary right before COVID. One of our favorite cities.
Really?
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, we loved everything.
I would
about it.
absolutely go. I just haven't had the opportunity yet.
Oh, it's such a cool place. So many things to see. Again, short term. Loved it short term. I'm not sure I would like it long term, but really cool. Really cool city. Family friendly, less congestion in suburban lifestyle, and parking availability. Sure. You know what? I've come to learn that people will complain about parking no matter where they are.
Doesn't
no
matter
matter
where.
how quiet the town is.
Yep.
People will complain about parking.
Yep. It's an issue everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep.
There's not a single place I've gone that people don't complain about
Where
parking.
it's a perfect solution. There's no perfect solution for it.
Some challenges or cons of living in with suburban bliss. So car dependence. So sure, you can't easily get around as well.
Absolutely.
Longer commutes. Sure. I guess if you're traveling to the city to work, but you're living in the county.
Yep.
Right.
Although sometimes if you're in a very busy city, your commute is quite long because of the
short period.
traffic, right?
I
So
know.
ours is longer in terms of the distance, but theirs might
really,
be longer.
Like what's the longest drive from one end of the county to the other here? 40 minutes, maybe?
45,
at longest.
Yep.
Right. We're
Right. If
pretty
you're going
lucky.
from one corner to the other,
Yeah.
the exact opposite.
But literally,
right?
if you're going from, anywhere to Windsor, you're 20 minutes,
20
25
to
minutes
30 usually,
max, right? Fewer cultural activities, less diverse dining options. So I guess it's a smaller population, right? So
Yep.
there's not as many restaurants
Absolutely.
to choose from. Limited nightlife. Pfft, listen,
What?
we have kids.
Nightlife.
What nightlife?
What is this?
We're way over nightlife.
What is this you speak of? Is that what happens when I'm all cozy in my bed?
My nightlife is over by 8 p.m. Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's go to bed.
Nightlife.
Oh my goodness. Fewer job opportunities. Okay, I guess. Just again,
Yeah.
not as many places to get a job, I guess, in the county. Suburban sprawl. So spread out development can lead to a lack of central town areas and a feeling of disconnection. Okay, fair enough.
In some areas,
I
for sure.
find there's now a larger push, Heather, towards towns building up more, right? Like just building more,
Like within their smaller centers?
like redeveloping properties in the core and
Yep.
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
the cheapest way to go, obviously. And maintenance responsibilities. So more outdoor space means more maintenance, lawn care. Yep, 100%.
Absolutely.
Gardening, and just general home upkeep. So
Yeah.
I think that's a fair list.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's absolutely right. Like our property takes up a lot of our time and energy, right? To maintain
Yes.
it. We wanted it. We knew what we were getting into, but you've got to get out there and cut the grass and weed whack and do the garden and weed and put mulch down, right? It's a lot more work.
I have always absolutely loved to cut grass.
You've said that before.
We're on
Yeah,
2
I don't
acres.
mind it either.
Yeah, so we're on 2 acres. I got a rider,
Yep.
a zero turn, so it moves pretty
Me
quick.
too. I
But it
love
still takes a
mine.
couple hours. Easy.
Yep.
And I find, so it's one of my favorite pastimes. It's just I can relax. It's like my downtime.
Turn your brain off a little
Yeah.
bit.
And this summer was the first time that I actually had a hard time keeping up because of sports and the kids and everything.
Okay.
So there was a couple times where we had someone come and help us. So
I felt the grass grew a lot this
Yeah,
year too.
it did.
Because we
A lot
had a
of
fair
rain.
amount of rain throughout
Yeah.
the summertime that we didn't have that typical lull in the growth. I felt like it just grew
No.
continuously. We also had a hard time keeping up this year,
I
but
know.
still make it work.
oftentimes Nick's dad would show up and just next thing he was cutting the grass. I'm like, oh, you're the best. Thank
Perfect.
you. Oh my goodness. But
You're hired.
exactly. So lifesaver. Okay, so we're going to take a break. We are going to come back and talk with Christian Janice from Simply Clothes, a real estate lawyer, about chattels and fixtures. We're going to come back and give away a gift card in the next half hour as well for the Richmond Popcorn Company. And we've got tons more. We have our listener questions. If you have a question for us, real estate related, then text us. You can text Heather and I. We'll tackle it in the last segment of the show near closer to 1 o'clock today. Text us at 519-792-2559. Lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.